Greetings, groaners, groany and naughty. Knock knock, here we have episode 140. Yes, groaners, Friday is upon us again, which only means the groan zone is once again open for business of consuming groans and churning out groantent. Unfortunately, due to the lateness of recording on this Friday night, there is no audience. Sorry, but I will endeavour to get that better in future. It's been another hot, humid one in the UK this week, at least in my opinion. Rest in peace, my little fan. Only lasted 3 days, but more on that later. Games and fun groantent are coming to you again, groaners. Let's get underway. Oh, and before I forget, Admin Nicole has dug us out some facts for a special day for Canadians, because of course, it's Canada Day coming soon. Here we go, on with the plunge into the groan zone for the 140th time with my groans. You get what you pay for. I mentioned my cheap £5 USB fan. It only lasted for 3 days before it either couldn't or wouldn't hold its charge. I suppose I should have expected it, but at the same time Amazon would have had it on for 10 quid upwards. Cheap price shouldn't mean cheap quality. 3 days indeed. Knocks on door or phone ringing as soon as you sit down. So you just get in from work, you sit down and attempt to relax, and either your mobile goes off or your doorbell goes and bang goes your relaxation. I hate that. Going to the same places on holiday. Okay, right, I get it. I know some things are expensive, but come on. Some of you out there need some variety. The same week, the same place, the same surroundings. For God's sake, you're bored at home, then you go on holiday and moan about that. Being bored on holiday. Go somewhere different. Explore. Yet again, my groans have been set free as the zone inhales them like a sweet scent. It awaits more, and especially the audience groan. As stated, Admin Nicole has been busy getting facts gathered for a special day for Canadians. It's time for Canada Day fact number 1. On July the 1st, 1867, the British Parliament brought the British North America Act into effect, leading to the creation of independent Canada. The territories within Dominion consisted of Upper and Lower Canada, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Through this act, Canada was divided into Quebec and Ontario, allowing provisions for the neighbouring colonies to join in the future. This is how present-day Canada came into formation. The British North America Act served as the Constitution for Canada until 1982. This holiday would become known as Dominion Day until 1946, when a bill was forwarded to change the name, but was stalled due to disagreement in the House of Commons. No change there then, over what the new name should be. From facts, of which there will be more, later on I bring you the first part of creepiness in the episode with, well, that's creepy. This is what I found on BuzzFeed via an anonymous writer, and I found this really creepy. When I was 17 and a foster kid living in Oakland, the family I stayed with had this old, typical San Francisco style 2-story house with wood floors. One night, I went to the bathroom that was right in front of the stairs on the first floor. As I was about to walk back upstairs, I saw the bottom of the lady's long, white gown at the top of the stairs. I thought it was the foster mum or sister and asked if they wanted me to leave the light on in the bathroom for them. No reply. The gown just turned and went down the hallway. I thought it must have been my foster sister sleepwalking because she was still like 9 or 10 years old and did that sometimes. I went upstairs and peeked in the parents' room. They were both snoring. I went back to our room where my sister was dead asleep in her bed, wearing a Raiders t-shirt. And for reference, they are usually all black. I was freaked out and quickly closed our door to the hallway as I suddenly realised there was no sound of footsteps walking on the wood floor. I hopped in bed and hid under my blanket for the rest of the night. Nope, hell no. Definitely a case of, well, that's creepy. Nicole will take over for Creepy Corner later. A bit later than usual is our first game of the episode. It's yes or BS. And of course we have no audience, like I've aforementioned, so it'll be a bit quicker than usual. Round 1. The Moranis Effect Heart Round. A. Rick Moranis said he'd not come out of retirement for Spaceballs 2. B. The Mpemba Effect, that's M-P-E-M-B-A, is when moisture escapes an enclosed space. Or C. The human heart can squirt blood about 30 feet. Remember, you're avoiding the fake statement groaners. You've got to pick the truths to get points. Round 2. The Gallop Twin War Round. A. Crocodiles can gallop. B. The shortest war lasted only 38 minutes. Or C. Identical twins actually smell different. Same as the 4 groaners. You're avoiding the fake statements. Round 3. The Tongue Cranberry Swim Round. A. The electricity powering the internet is said to weigh in at approximately the weight of a cranberry. B. A human could swim through the heart of a blue whale. Or C. The tongue is your strongest muscle. Remember, groaners, in any of these 3 rounds, you're avoiding the BS statements, right? Answers will come later, groaners, to find out if you got blanked or not. Now we must ask the age-old question of why oh why? $95 bottles of water. Why is it that we humans follow such stupid marketing ploys? The $95 bottles of water are said to be a luxury item with premium branding, unique sourcing, and very ornate packaging. Some of the water is said to be sourced from glaciers melting in the Arctic Circle. The water may even have gold dust added. Why? I could go on, but I bring my point. It's just water and $95 for it. I've got to ask why oh why. It's like Peckham Springs all over again. If you know what that is, watch Only Fools and Horses. We've asked the why, but we get a double whammy of Nicole now with her next fact and then straight on to Creepy Corner. Canada Day fact number 2. In 1967, on the 100th anniversary of the nation's creation, there was an increasing interest in Canadian patriotism, and celebrations really took off. Even before it became official, citizens would refer to the holiday as Canada Day, and the name was finally adopted in 1982. More facts to come later, and as said, straight into Creepy Corner now, and it'll be a live reaction, as I promised not to read the story. Your story for the 140th Creepy Corner is called See You Soon. Chaos and carnage was everywhere. On this small platform with hardly any space left to move, all Valencia could do was watch. The old man mumbling under his breath about failing everyone, trying to figure out how to save what he had left. The screams of agony mixed in with the laughs of joy from the primal of life as the destroyed spirits slowly tore into him. So many of them just tearing him apart with such animosity. Valencia would feel sorry for him in another life perhaps, but right now she refused. She could neither smile nor feel disgust. The primal of life was one that deserved nothing but a tortured death. He did not deserve to die in peace, and even in his own agonizing pain, he was enjoying every second of it. Viola tried her hardest to hold back her anger, but she couldn't. Dr. Quack knew that and just kept laughing with his son by his side. The only problem was that Dr. Quack was so smart and so mad that I never once thought he needed to learn to fight. He was always smart enough to have someone with him who could fight for him. Yet now, he had lost all of that, and it was just him and his son. Yet Lionel, even with the strength of the gator he refused with, didn't know how to fight either. Not only was this a problem, but because he didn't understand alligators as a whole. He didn't know how to use the power he actually had. Like father, like son. Both overpowered and smart, yet neither knew how to use it. Dr. Quack began to lose his smile. Then he turned to his son and tried one last trick. This was it for him, he knew that. So he had to do what he could do to survive. All he could do was appeal to the fact that Grim and Viola were better than him. Appeal to their better nature, their empathy. They would never kill a child after all. Viola snapped in that moment as she remembered she was but a child herself when they destroyed her life. That's when she knew more than anything this was going to end now. The purple roses mark of the Death Maidens for a reason Viola only found out herself once Grim told her and Valencia to read as much as they could in his library to help in this fight. When books were banned and destroyed, anyone with enough money or power hid what they could to preserve them. Many did it just to prove themselves better as paper and books became a luxury. Yet Grimm was different. Only the dead could see him and his factory, so his collection of books were untouchable by humans. He had no knowledge of the Death Maidens in this world, yet he did have knowledge on the rare purple roses. No doubt another sliver of truth that escaped into this world. Thanks to this, Viola understood exactly what she could do. An extremely powerful and ever so dangerous spell, something that can only be done once in the caster's life, as the price to pay is part of one's own soul. She had no regrets, not when it came to avenging her mother. She told Grimm to be ready. She held out her hand with the purple rose on the back of it and concentrated inwards, focusing on her breath, slowly finding her way to her soul, and in an instant did something she never thought possible, right to show me her eyes going a deep purple. In exchange for damnation, I offer a portion of my soul. In exchange for eternal imprisonment, I send you down there. We can never awaken, never sleep, never be reborn. For your crimes, there'll be no trial. For your sins, there will be no retribution. Upon uttering these words, her eyes stayed purple, and black thorns broke through the ground, piercing through Dr. Quack and Lionel. Grimm understood, and with one slash of his scythe, he exposed the stolen hourglasses, and was able to take them back. He may not be able to revive those who passed, but hopefully now their souls could find peace. Once he took them back, Viola clenched her hands shut, and a void opened up below Dr. Quack and Lionel, swallowing them whole. Under her breath, she could be heard muttering to herself, "Death is too good for you. I won't grant you that release." Shortly after, a bright light hit them, all temporarily blinding them. That mass of tortured souls, all purified at once, now finally set free, exploding into a mass of white butterflies, all flying towards the moon. Free at last. They had finally won. Dr. Quack was finished. The primal of life gone. They were free. Or so they thought. But they'd forgotten about the fates. A blade flew out of nowhere towards Valencia, but before she could sense it, it was too late. A blade made of pure souls, undetectable by anything, and capable of killing anyone, be they star or ghost. When Valencia was able to sense the blade, the damage was done. The old man who was drowning in his own thoughts heard the blade as the sound snapped him back. He made sure to get in the way before it hit her. He was beginning to face death for the last time. He wouldn't get turned into butterflies like his wife or the lost spirits. A soul blade destroys. It doesn't just kill. The old man was simply ending. There was no more afterlife for him. Valencia started screaming, begging him to hold on, but he couldn't. He knelt down and wrapped his arms around her one final time as his body began to fade away. "You will always be my daughter, just as you will always be my family. Never forget how much you are loved. Love grows, and sometimes it dies, but remember, I am so proud of you and everything you've done. My love for you is something they can never destroy. Whatever I may be in my next life, I'll entrust to you. You are our hope, and you were the one to give me a reason to live again after I lost everything. Don't take this as goodbye. I'll see you again soon, and when I come back, I'll make sure to look up at the night sky and find you again," he said. As she cried and screamed through her tears, Viola tried to comfort her, but in that moment, while they were distracted, they didn't notice the room change. The fates created a void out of the walls. Vega warned them not to get near the walls. Anything that steps into that void was going to die. Anyone, including the fates, which meant they hoped to kill everyone left in their way before that happened. Wow, Nicole, you went all out there. But Lionel and Quack are gone, so everyone bad is gone. We have the fates left. The old man is clearly going to die. So does this mean the end's coming soon? I mean, how many stories have you got left before we flip it over after taking a break for a while? What's going on, Nicole? I know you can't tell us, but you can tell me. I really enjoyed that story, Groaners. I hope you did too. Second game cometh now to take us out of the creepy, and that is the 5-point countdown. Again, no audience, unfortunately. So, remember, you must guess right. You guess wrong, you gotta start again. So 5, you don't get 5, you get 4. You don't get 4, you get 3. You can't go back and get 5 because you guessed right the first time. Nope. Clue 5 for 5 points. They can eat anything, including trash. Think about it. Have a guess, Groaners. Then move on. Clue 4 for 4 points. They come in a variety of sizes. Again, guess now, but think carefully. Clue 3 for 3 points. They're featured in a certain nursery rhyme. Go back to your childhood, Groaners. Think hard. Clue 2 for 2 points. They can be used as part of an expression to say you're getting on someone's nerves. I wish I could give you better clues, groaners, but I can't. And last clue, clue 1 for 1 point. Humans have kids, but so do they. Think hard on this, especially if you know... Well, nice, I nearly give you an inappropriate clue there, groaners. I nearly gave you a clue there. Can't do that. Remember, 5 clues, 5's the maximum points, 1's the minimum points. Good luck. More gaming shenanigans to come, groaners. But speaking of you, let's have one of your groans. Indeed, it's time for the audience groan. I don't think I've used this one. Apologies if so. This week's groan comes in from Charlotte C of Consett via email. Hello, Mr. E. I was going on a road trip with my partner last week. We found a little car park into where we wanted to go. I noticed a space and indicated. I felt like I had aged about 25 years waiting for the woman to move out of the space. So I politely sounded my car horn. She still did not move and just gave me a look. All the time I had other cars behind me. Why are people so oblivious and ignorant to the world around them? I've mentioned this before with people standing in car parking spaces. But now we have idiots sat in cars, engines running and not pulling out to vacate a space. Yup, COVID really did make the world just a little bit dumber. Excellent groan. Of course, you can send in any content or ideas to the show and we'll review them. Don't forget to both spread the word and drop us a like on the platform you tune in on and groan out to. To send us your ideas and groans, etc., you need to use one of the following, or more than one. Hit us up on our Discord channel, The Groan Zone, where you can listen live and unedited at 8:30 PM Greenwich Mean Time unless plans change. You may also leave messages or DM us. Email into thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. Facebook message one or both of us at Mystery Groaner or Nicole Amos. Jump into the Groan Zone podcast via Facebook groups on the Groan Zone podcast Facebook group. Lastly, leave us a comment with what you got to say, but please keep it clean, and that can be left on any platform that you listen in on. Tune in to Nicole again. We have Canada Day fact number 3. Canada is the second largest country in the world, spanning over 9.9 million square kilometers or 3.8 million square miles. In addition, the country also boasts the world's longest coastline, spanning just over 243,000 kilometers or just over 151,000 miles. Such is the size of Canada that the country spans 6 time zones, including PST, that's Pacific Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time, that's MST, Central Standard Time, that's CST, Eastern Standard Time, that's EST, Atlantic Standard Time, that's AST, and Newfoundland Standard Time, that's NST. I'd hate to ask the time in Canada. I'd get many different answers, I'd imagine. Hopefully not. Now we have a merging of a new, possibly one-off section and an older section, just for this episode. But you never know. We have Oh Clever merging Oh Lucky and Well That's Clever together. A woman in Wales had a boyfriend who was extremely stressed about thoughts of a conventional wedding and he wanted to get out of the country. She decided to do the ultimate and plan a surprise wedding behind his back. Karina's now husband Michael arrived at Penarth Pier after getting the invite which said nothing about a wedding. He thought that he was going to attend an award ceremony and the +1 on the invite was his friend. Needless to say, he was stunned and also laughing and pleased to find out that he had turned up to his wedding all planned by his partner. It took 6 weeks of planning and little verbal diversions from family and friends, but she pulled it off and I can report both are happily married. Certainly, well, that's clever. But ladies, gents, please try this at your own risk with your partners. We at the Groan Zone will not be held accountable if the idea blows up in your face. And nearly lastly, for the games anyway, it's nearly the last one of the episode with Talking Nonsense. This being the reverse game, of course. Round 1. A hard type of chewy sweet, but not always. Your nonsense is ye fox. Pause here, groaners. Have a little think. Answer, then unpause. Round 2. Rush your food, and you may get this. Your nonsense is... No. Ah. Pause here, groaners. Have a little think. Answer, then unpause. Round 3, last round. If you don't have this, your house may get stuffy. Your nonsense is... Pause here, groaners. Have a little think. Answer, then unpause. Answers are just around the corner, so the gibberish I was sounding off will soon make sense. Zero of the week has the floor now, and this guy's just an idiot. I was walking into my local metro, for those that don't know, it's kind of like a subway train station after work, when some idiot barged past me. As it transpired, he hadn't paid for a ticket, and rushed past two guards and forced automated ticket railings apart. The guard didn't give chase, but yelled, "Next time buy your ticket, you tow rag!" Because yeah, that'll show him. A ticket costs maybe between £2 to £10, depending on where you're going and the type of ticket, because there's 3 zones, A, B and C, and many tickets like a day ticket, a single ticket, the list goes on. The fare dodger, you are indeed lame and are a 0 of the week. Moving along, for the last of Nicole's Canada facts, I'm certainly gonna include AI, as I'll give it a go, but no way will I be able to pronounce it. You'll hear my frustration after I try, then AI will kick in. Canada boasts more lakes than anywhere in the world. In fact, according to Statistics Canada, the country has access to over 20% of the world's surface fresh water and 7% of the world's renewable water flow. Canada is estimated to be home to close to 2 million lakes. Among these lakes is Patwashname Koswak Chiwak Pinwak. Yes, AI, take it away from here, please. All going to plan, AI will have taken over by now, and that name will be said in AI in post-editing. But yes, this lake, I'm not going to say it again, this lake is located in the province of Manitoba. The lake boasts the longest place name in Canada, that's 31 letters, which translates from the Cree language to where the wild trout are caught by fishing with hooks. Phew! You got me there, Nicole. Our final game of the episode is What the Hell Are We? The picture will appear on Podbean and the Facebook group and Discord. Your clue is, we're one of Jim Hensons' creations and we're huge in the 80s. There were some rude versions of our intro song too, mostly sung in playgrounds and known by some adults. The answer will come next week. But we couldn't leave you hanging, so we'll give you answers for this week's episode and of course, Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety, which is coming next. Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. The anagram answer, again I'm going to have to use AI for, because it's a railway station that's on the borders of India with Andhra, and I can't even pronounce it, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, which is on one of the Indian borders with each other. I think that's right. But AI, take it away and pronounce this name for me, please, will you? I'll give it a go. Venkatan Narasimhara Juvarapita. God, AI, please take over. All going to plan. You should have heard AI talking about that now. So yes, that was your anagram answer. If you got it, well done, because I had no idea about that. Next answer, the 5-point countdown. If you know your animals, the answer was a goat. Moving on to yes or BS. For round 1, if you went for option A, that's false. He will star in Spaceballs 2, and he said the only one that could bring him out of retirement would be Mel Brooks. If you went for option B, the Mpemba effect is when moisture escapes in enclosed space. That's also false. It's where hot water freezes faster than cold water. And if you went for C, the human heart can squirt blood about 30 feet. That's actually true. So if you went for C, you have a point. Round 2. If you went for A, a crocodile can gallop. That is true. If you went for B, the shortest war lasted only 38 minutes. That's also true. The Anglo-Zanzibar War is recognised as the shortest war in history. And if you went for option C, identical twins actually smell different. That's false. Everyone else has a unique smell. Identical twins smell exactly the same. That's something you didn't know, groaners, I bet. But of course, if you went for C, you now have no points if you scored a point in the previous round. Round 3. If you went for A, the electricity powering the internet is said to weigh in at approximately the same weight of a cranberry. That's false. Its weight comes in to about apricot size. B. You went for this one. A human could swim through the heart of a blue whale. That's true. And if you went for C, the tongue is your strongest muscle. That is also true. No matter how hard your biceps work, your tongue's your strongest muscle. Of course, you may or may not have got points with that one, groaners. I hope you did, though. I hope no one got blanked. I really, really hope no one got blanked. And of course, now we have, for talking nonsense, round 1. Your nonsense was toffee. Round 2. Your nonsense was heartburn. And round 3. Your nonsense was ventilation. Well done to anyone out there who scored points. We hope you enjoyed the games and the groantent this week. Again, sorry for the late recording on a Friday night. I have no doubt I'll get this out on Saturday or Sunday after editing, but bear patient with us, please. Thanks a lot, groaners. Thank you very, very much, groaners from across the globe. You are what makes the show what it is with you listening, and we know you love the content because you keep listening. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. She decided to do the ultimate. Almost. Fine, at least for the games anyway. For this episode, nearly.